Hey guys, so I'm excited to share with you a look for spring. It's kind of a rose gold, plummy, I don't know, something fun. But basically I'd gotten an e.l.f. order in and I wanted to try the contouring palette. I have both the cream and the powder, so I'm using the powder one in this tutorial, as well as the brand new Nude Rose Gold palette, which, oh my goodness, can we just look at this together and, right? Oh yeah. So this is nice. Very, very, very nice. Another product I'm using is the cream blush palette they just came out with. There are two. There's like a light one and a dark one. I'm actually using the light one for this look. So this is the finished look, and it's almost only e.l.f. The only thing that I'm using that's not e.l.f. would be the lipstick, which is a Colourpop lipstick. So thank you guys so much for watching, and of course I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a moisturizer because my skin is like so hateful right now. Like, I'm so dry right here and then right here. I'm not dry anywhere else, and it drives me nuts that it's like this. But it is what it is. So, ooh, that was really cold. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and apply this everywhere. Specifically where I have dry patches. Sorry, my nose is itching. So, great. Now, what I'm going to do next is take the e.l.f. SPF 20 Sunscreen Face Primer. It feels exactly the same as the other primers that they have. It does have kind of like, I guess, a grainy texture, but it's not really noticeable. It's not bad. It does not deter me from using this. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Just apply it. Okay. Then I'm going to do my foundation. Now for that, I will be using, of course, the e.l.f. Moisturizing sticks, because those are like my favorite. I'm sure you guys are probably sick of me using it at this point, but man, they're good. I've seen some bad reviews. They work perfect for me. So they do last all day, and I love them. I'm going to take Ivory and apply that on my chin, underneath my lips, and then I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit on my forehead, right on the top of my cheekbone, and along my jawline, like right above the edge of my jawline. Then I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit on my neck. I'm going to take the shade Natural, which is just a step darker, and I will be applying that where my contour would be, and on each side of my chin. I have a fuzzy on me. Okay, so I'm going to leave my nose alone. I always do that last because I use a different product on my nose. So I'm going to take a beauty blender, which, by the way, I am super excited. I follow a website. There's a lady who posts like coupons and deals. Her name is Colin, and she has a website called Hip to Save, like hip and then the number 2 and then the word save.com. You guys need to check her out. I want to say it was like 2 weeks ago. She posted a promotion that was going on with dermstore.com, and I was able to pick up 2 beauty blenders plus a full-size cleanser for $22. That's including shipping. It was ridiculously awesome. So I'm waiting on those to arrive. Now, I did, because her site's like super huge and everyone I know follows it, she's pretty popular. Well, when I placed my order, they were out of stock apparently, but the website has not, like, it wasn't updated. They actually emailed me and said that they would honor it, and as soon as it gets back in stock, they would ship it. So it finally shipped the other day. I don't mind waiting if I have to. The deal is great. And I've had this beauty blender, embarrassingly enough, for about 3 months, so I didn't really feel like paying 20-something bucks for just one beauty blender. So I feel like I got one heck of a deal. Alright, so yeah, I'm just going to blend this out. As best as possible. And what I am going to do, just to kind of, just to kind of save on time, I will actually be doing like one half of my face after I do like my nose and, you know, like setting my foundation and everything. So that way it's not going to take up too much time for the video. But yeah, blending out really, really well. Okay. Now for the nose, I do use a different product. I actually use a concealer. And for that, I will be using the e.l.f. HD Lifting Concealer. This is in Fair. This is like my holy grail concealer. I love this thing. I love this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and use this on my nose. Because my nose is super red. I'm sure you guys can see that on camera, but it's not a good time. I don't like it. You know, it reminds me of like back in the day, cartoons, like they were able to put things in cartoons that they can't nowadays. And I don't remember if it was a Disney cartoon, but I remember seeing like they would show like a monk or something, or like a clergyman, or I wouldn't say clergyman, but I think it was like a monk or a friar with a bright red nose because he drank a lot of wine. That's what it reminds me of. Like, my nose is always red, and I promise you guys, like, yeah, I drink alcohol every now and again, which really is nobody's business, but, I mean, it is what it is. I'm an adult. I do what I want. But it's definitely not even once a month, sadly. So I just ain't got time for that. But it reminds me of that so bad. It's like those cartoons with the dudes with the super red nose. If you're my age or older, then you know what I'm talking about. You've seen it. Okay. So what I'm going to go ahead and do next is my eyebrows. And then I'm going to be setting my foundation. So I'm going to grab just an angled brush here. I can't even, like, guys, I am so in love with the eyebrow, like the lock-on liner and brow cream from e.l.f. This is amazing. Like, and I've been using this for a while. Like, I used it for a week and I fell in love with it, and I didn't really want to talk about it so much just because it was only a week of use. I really hate when people are like, oh my god, I used this for like 2 days and it's like my new favorite thing. Like, that drives me crazy. I've been using this for months, every single day. Like, it's insane. And yes, I own the Anastasia Beverly Dip Brow stuffs. Let me just show you, because you guys need to know this. This is like one of those things that's too good. Like, it's just too good, but it's amazing. These are my dip brows. So I have all sorts of colors. I do plan on buying the, like, all of the e.l.f. brow liner cream stuffs, so I can see which ones are like similar to the other. That way, if you're wanting to save money, you'll have a good idea on which one would be a dupe for what color. I have not even touched my dip brow products in like at least a month and a half. Like, I just haven't. Like, I don't want to pay a ton of money and have a product dry out as quickly as the dip brow does. And it just sucks, because and it's not just like I had one that was a bad batch. Like, all of them have dried out so quickly, and I don't open them and leave them open. It's not at all like that. So it really kind of bothers me that she charges so much for something that's just going to dry out extremely quickly. Yeah, it's a great product, but man, I wish it would last longer. Just saying. So I'm going to take some of that, and just to give you guys an idea, I have been using this for literally months, okay? Like 2 months. And yeah, I put a little bit of a dent in it, but there is so much product. I have at least 5 more months in this. $4, dude. $4 freaking dollars. My mind is blown. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and take that brush and move my mirror so I can see what the heck I'm doing. That would be helpful. And I'm going to go ahead and underline my brow. And do my tail. And then I'm going to go ahead and line the top of it as well. Very, very lightly. The e.l.f. brow product is so pigmented, so I seriously like wipe it off twice before I apply it. Because, yeah, it can get intense. And then I'm going to just brush the bottom line upwards. Because that's how I do. So there's that. Now I'm going to go ahead and wipe off the excess. And while there's less product on the brush, I will be going in and kind of filling out a little bit of the beginning of my brow. Now guys, eyebrows are not twins most of the time. I've seen some people who have some really nice brows naturally. Don't feel intimidated or don't feel like you have to make them match. It is what it is. They're like they're cousins or not even sisters, you know? It's kind of like cousins. One's on this side of the family, this one's on this side of the family. It is what it is. So there's that. I'm going to go ahead and do my other brow real fast. And then I'm going to set my foundation for you guys. Now, while I'm doing this, I have a few questions, so I hope maybe some of you can answer this for me. But I have heard of this brand called Makeup Revolution. I noticed that we have it at my local CVS. I really want to try their products. I'm kind of intrigued. There's some highlighters that I'm just kind of like, oh my goodness, that's really pretty in the picture. Have you tried them? If you have, please let me know what you think. They look beautiful, and I can't say that I've tried like the Becca highlighters, but I've been wanting to. So I'm looking for like an affordable highlight, and I love my e.l.f. stuff, but I do want to try other affordable brands as well. That way I can, you know, have more of a variety to use. Because I want to. So it is what it is. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and wipe off some more excess and then kind of go in and do that beginning of the brow. Awesome. So I did my brows. Now to set my foundation, I'm going to go ahead and use the e.l.f. HD powder. I did not go underneath my eyes, which I may do that really very, very quickly because I did forget to do that, and it's kind of important. So what I will be using for that, it's the same product I used on my nose, but it'll be a different shade. So the shade that I'll be using, well, there it is. Okay, it's in Brightening. I'm a little sad because e.l.f. discontinued this shade, and I don't know why. So I'm going to have to find something to kind of use in its place when I run out. So again, I'm going to ask you guys for help with that. Here is the product. It is extremely pale yellow, like a very, very pale person yellow. And I'm really pale, so this is like, yeah, I mean, you guys see that, right? Let me blend it out a bit. If you guys have any recommendations, I need something like this. So hook a lady up. I would greatly appreciate some information. Okay, so I'm going to apply just a little bit. I do not want to go crazy. I have under eye wrinkles and lines, and they're not a good time, so I don't really want to emphasize what's there. Alright, so there's that, and I'm going to take my Beauty Blender, and I'm going to kind of blend that out a bit. Man, I'm so sad they discontinued the shade because a little bit really goes a long way. Like, it's so nice. Elf, why do you gotta break my heart? Like, why can't we just get along and be friends? Like, seriously, you make a nice product, and I fall in love with it, and then it's gone. And I'm like, wait, what? Okay, see how nice that is? Like, please help me find a dupe or something like this. Because I'm gonna be so sad panda when this is done. So I just added a little bit of that underneath my eyes to kind of give it a little bit of a highlight glow, which is nice. It's subtle, so I didn't like cake it on. What I'm going to do next is take the e.l.f. HD powder, and this is in Corrective Yellow. I steer clear of the, oh, what is it, translucent, just because if you guys have seen my videos before, it's essentially, like, the idea is amazing, and I feel the same way about the Makeup Forever powder, but the flashback is redonkulous and not good. So I'm going to grab a little bit of that, and I'm going to go ahead and set that. And I know I said I was going to set my foundation, but I'm only setting my concealer right now. So there we go. It's nice, it's in place, and I'm going to go ahead and do one eye, and then I will hop back and show you guys how I did it. Okay, so I went ahead and did the rest of my face. I gotta say, I like the colors that I used. Very, very nice. From the e.l.f., it's the e.l.f. Nude Rose Gold. Anyways, this is the new palette that they came out with. It's just like the matte palette, smoky palette. I don't remember the other names, but I have a few of them. Need It Nude, that's why I got it confused, I think. Anywho, here are the colors in the palette. And so, let me just show you up close. This is what the finished look will look like, of course. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I have to be very, very careful with purples. Sometimes it makes me look like someone punched me in the face. So that's not the goal. It's not sexy, not attractive. Yeah, no, I'm good. So I like the way it turned out. I'm going to go ahead and prime my eyelids. For that, I will be using the e.l.f. shadow. It's like the Eyelid Primer, I think. It's like the $2 one. It's in the shade Sheer. I'm going to apply this bad boy all over my entire eyelid and all the way to my brows. And then I'm going to pat this in and kind of blend it out with my finger by patting. Now that I have nails, it's a little hard to get in the, you know, corner of my eye. Okay, so while that's drying, because I do want to let that dry before I apply anything else, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do my blush. So for the blush, I decided to go with a cream palette from e.l.f. that I just got. This is, I think, there's two different ones. There's like a light one and a dark one. This is the light one. I love this orange, by the way. I'm going to be using that this spring and summer like it's no one's business. But the color that I'm using today is kind of like a nice rose. These are matte, by the way, which is fabulous. And I will be applying that like mauve kind of rose shade. They are pretty pigmented, so a little bit at a time goes a long way. Okay, I realize it probably looks a little heavy. I will be applying highlighter as well and blending it out, so it's not going to be this intense, I promise. So, what I'm going to go ahead and do next is apply an eyeshadow. I will be using a shade in here. Let's see. I'm going to use this deep kind of matte shade, and I will be applying that to my crease. So, with that being said, let me grab a big crease brush. This is a dupe for the MAC 217, so this is what I'm going to go with. I will be applying that to the crease, a little bit on the lid, as well as like the outer V. Like so. Now I'm going to grab a lighter shade as well. I'm going to use this matte shade right here. It's kind of like a, I don't know, it reminds me of, make sure I'm like pointing to the right one. Yeah, right there. It reminds me of one from an Urban Decay palette, and I don't remember the name of it. So I'll go ahead and just apply that right on top of where we applied the other shade. When you use them together, you get this really, really nice, like, muted kind of like brown pink. It is so pretty. Anywho, I could go on about that for a while, so let's not do that. I'm going to go ahead and use, it's a kind of bold pink glittery shade in here. It's right there. I'm going to grab some of this. I'll be using it wet with the e.l.f. You could either use the Makeup Lock and Seal. I will be using the Makeup Mist and Set. So I'm going to grab a paddle brush. I'm going to spritz this bad boy with a ton of product here. Shake it off. And then I'm going to grab that pink. I will be applying this all over. So it's going to go all over my entire eyelid. And this is such a pretty pink shade. I'm not even a pink fan. I really don't like much pink. It's, I don't know. I'm bold at heart, but this is a very, very pretty color. And we're going to be giving some dimension to it here in a little bit. So, I mean, it's good by itself, by the way. I just kind of wanted to go a little bit more bold because I am bold at heart. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to go ahead and grab a like fluffy brush. There's a really, really dark shade in this palette, and it's really pigmented, so I'm going to barely tap my brush in there. It's this deep purple. Upon closer inspection, it has like gold glitter. This is really freaking pretty. And I already have an idea to use it by itself, like with the cream eyeshadow, use it wet. It's beautiful, but I'm going to grab a little bit at a time. And it's just going to go in the outer V. See, I literally tapped it in there. It is so pigmented. So a little bit at a time, blend it out, don't be afraid. And I'm going to go ahead and take that same brush that had the two matte shades, and I'm going to kind of try to soften it a little bit because it's a little bold right now. Better, way better. Alright, What I'm going to do next is I'm going to take the e.l.f. glitter glue. It's a glitter primer. I think it's like $2. This is really nice, by the way. I'm going to grab a little bit of this on my hand or finger. Anyways, I will be applying it right in the center. So that way it kind of looks like it has a halo effect of my eyelid right on top of that pink. And then what I'm going to do next is grab a flat paddle brush. There is a beautiful kind of like goldy copper looking shade in here right there, and I'm going to grab this color and pat it right on top. It has a very, very pretty like metallic look to it. So that's what I'm going to do. I am going to let that dry for a moment because in all honesty, and I'm trying to clean my brushes up a little bit, at least one of them, because I'm going to be using it in a moment. I may pat a little bit more just so I can make sure they are even, but I'm going to let it dry because it is a glitter like primer glue. Pat just a bit more. I like this a lot. Like, it just looks really, really unique. Great. Okay, I'm going to take a highlight shade from this palette, and for that, I will be using this really neat matte. It reminds me of Strange, I think from the Urban Decay's Naked 3. So it's extremely pale. I will be using that right underneath my brows. See, it's so nice. It's so nice. I like this palette a lot. I wish my skin tone was a little bit different because I would be rocking this every day. Like, I would be using more of these colors. I just kind of very gently blended it back and forth. I'm going to go ahead and take a fluffy brush here, like a big fat fluffy brush, and I'm going to just blend where that deep purple kind of meets that nice highlight shade, just to soften everything. Bam. Okay, so what I'm going to do for the rest of the eye look, I'm going to grab, it is the Jumbo Eyeshadow Stick, and the shade is Little Miss Thing from e.l.f. Just to give you guys an idea, it's kind of like a light, creamy metallic shade. I will be using this very lightly on the inner corner because I want to have a little bit of a pop to help kind of brighten the look and tie everything together. So I'm going to get a little brush, grab quite a bit of that, and then I will be applying it right here on the inner corner. And I'm going to bring it around my tear duct area. I like it. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a shade here from the cream. It's like the Smudge Pots. I was about to forget the name of it. This is in Brownie Points, which this was, I used a ton of this, by the way, last summer. So this is super pigmented, super creamy. It's opaque, and I'm grabbing a bit of this on just like a small brush. You don't need a lot because it is extremely pigmented, so I'm going to wipe off some of the excess. I will be applying it right underneath my lower lash line. And I'm going to have it meet up where I applied that eyeshadow jumbo stick. like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and wipe my brush off. And just to show you guys how pigmented this is amazing, by the way. Do you guys see that? Like, yeah. It is opaque, it is metallic, it is shiny. I kind of want to try it out as lipstick. I know that sounds nuts, but maybe just like in the center of like a black lipstick or a really dark brown, and I feel like that would be... Hey there, eyelash. I feel like that would be kind of intense and fun, like a lot of fun. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and wipe off the excess from this, and I'm going to grab one more shade from that palette. It's going to be that deep purple that we applied onto the crease. So that sparkly goodness right here. And I'm going to get a little bit of that and apply it just to the outer edge for some more definition. And again, this is really pigmented too, so you really don't need a lot. Kind of blend it like that. And then I'm going to apply my liquid eyeliner, which I will be using the e.l.f. Intense Ink Liner. And I'm going to be using a mascara from e.l.f. as well, and that is going to be my jam, the Mineral Infused Mascara. So I will be doing this. For my waterline and for my tight line, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Mineral Eyeliner in black, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and did that, so here is the look so far. I am going to go ahead and take... I have the Illuminating Palette from e.l.f. here, as well as the Contour Palette. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the Contour Palette first. And I'm going to grab this deep shade here with a, let's see here, this brush is awesome, a small tapered brush from e.l.f. I'm going to go ahead and just contour my face. I haven't contoured my nose yet, so I will do that here in a little bit. This palette, I got it about, I want to say 3 days ago. I like it. I like it a lot. It was time to get rid of, and I'm sure you guys, if you've seen my other videos, you know what I'm talking about. This is the pressed powder and cocoa that I'd been using, and we can laugh together, but, anyways, I hit pan, and I've had this for longer than I care to admit. It's been a while, so I kind of needed something a little bit more fresh, I guess. So, yeah, this right here is doing the trick. It is phenomenal. And I'm going to go ahead and just contour along my jawline. And then I'm going to take a fluffy brush here and just kind of blend everything a bit to soften it. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and take a highlight shade, and this is in that same palette as well. Right here. It's like a white, creamy kind of color. And I will be applying that right on top of the blush. Or sorry, not directly on top, but like right above it. My bad. Ugh. Right above my brow. I've already got it on my chin. I'm going to separate my contour from my cheek to my jaw. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that there. Make sure I got more of it here, so that way I can blend it and it'll look really nice. Yes. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and contour my nose. For that, I will be using a flat brush. I'm going to use that same dark shade here. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of go along my nose. I don't want it to be too dramatic, so I'm gonna take it easy. Go ahead and put it on the very tip of my nose. Awesome. And then I'm going to grab the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush to blend this out. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with my lipstick yet, so I'm actually going to take a moment to decide. I have a brand new matte lipstick from e.l.f. that they just came out with, and I may end up using it, so we'll see. It'll be just a moment. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do, just because I was choosing a lipstick, but I needed to highlight my nose since I already contoured it, I will be highlighting my nose using, let's see, the e.l.f. Illuminating Palette. I'm going to use the lightest shade because I am pale. So that guy right there, the kind of like creamy ivory gold-like goodness in this palette. So I'm going to grab a little bit of that, put it on the tip of my nose, and then I'm going to go ahead and put it over here by the bridge. Bring it down, kind of like pat it. If you guys could, I'm glad my hand is in front of my face right now, because the face I'm making right now is kind of terrifying, just a little bit. You know, anywho. Alright, so there's that. What I'm going to go ahead and do next is work on my lips, because they are so dry. I'm like, nurr, look at my face. But really, like, they are so dry. They're always dry. It's a curse. So I'm going to take the e.l.f. Lip Exfoliator. And you know, I was just thinking, like, this wasn't intended to be a full face of e.l.f. products. It's just kind of how things turned out. So I do have a lip product that's not e.l.f. that I will be using. Oh, I just got that like all over the place. So I'm just gonna rub kind of hard. How attractive, right? Okay. Am I good? I'm good. Alright. I'm going to use the e.l.f. Undereye Hydrating Primer. I use this on my lips. I know it sounds crazy, but the product I'm going to use as lipstick, it's extremely, extremely drying. And I love Colourpop. So I have found that using this beforehand works great with any liquid lipstick, especially those with a drying formula. So it serves as a primer as well as a hydrant. Hydrant? Is that a hydrant? Hydrating product. Hydrant. Whatever. You know what I'm saying. Words, guys. Words. Okay. Now, for the lips, I've never used this. This is the Colourpop Ultra Matte Lip in the shade Solow. I just got this yesterday, so I'm going to give this guy a shot with a lip brush. I prefer to use lip brushes with any liquid lipstick, and the reason being is it takes less to cover your lips, so therefore the product's going to last longer. And I just, yeah, so I just kind of open it up and I grab a little bit on the top here. And that's how I do it. Ooh, this is kind of pretty actually. That's actually really pretty. like that. I like it a lot. That's a really nice color. That's actually very pretty for spring. Perfect for spring, in fact. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of overdraw a little bit, but not a lot, because, yeah, I just don't want to go crazy. I'm not a fan of overdrawing, really, but my pigment of my lips over here, like, is different than on this side, on the bottom lip, and I'm really self-conscious about it, so whenever I do, like, line my lips, I try to cover it so that way it looks like it's on point, instead of being kind of, like, weird and blotchy. There we go. Awesome. So that's the look. Super simple and basic. And you know what? I did forget one thing. Oh, snap. I can't believe I did that. On this cheek, I decided to use the Baked highlighter from e.l.f. in Blush Gems, just to kind of help top off where I applied that highlight and the blush. So just where they meet, I'm putting a little bit, like, just a little bit more. Okay, that is the look. This was super, super easy to do, guys. This was fun. I don't know, I'm excited because a lot of these products that I used in this tutorial today are new, and I just got them the other day, so I'm really digging them. I wanted to, I guess, use them a little bit more. Like, I love it. I love it. I feel great. I feel like I look awesome. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked, please subscribe, because that's really cool, and I really appreciate it. Whenever I do giveaways, stuff like that, you guys will be in the know. And, yeah, so thanks, and I hope you guys have an awesome Valentine's Day and an awesome spring.